All right, restarting this thing for the third time. Um, I'm probably going to have to start streaming with OBS because the YouTube streaming platform gives me no customization options at all. You guys are back in? Okay, sweet. Yeah, so I've been streaming on YouTube's own like platform, and once I go live, I have basically no customization options. So I'll probably have to start streaming in OBS. And there's I really probably should have been doing that from the start, but OBS streaming is maybe slightly more or slightly less intuitive, but I'm sure there's so much more customization you can do that way. Um, let's just see what happens if I share my screen again, and if it's working, and if it's not, then we'll figure it out. Yeah. Well, I guess this is just what it is with streaming, right? Like eventually something goes wrong and you gotta figure it out. So that's what we're doing. I appreciate you guys hopping back in. Uh it looks like we definitely lost quite a few people here, but um I'll pick this back up, and if we don't get too many more people, maybe we end it a little bit early and just say it is what it is. Um Let me just make sure you guys are is it choppy again on your side, or is it still looking good? All right, cool. All right, sweet. I'm just gonna pick up as if that never happened, and then we'll figure it out later. What I'll probably do is, I do have an Ethernet cable that I can run through my house. We'll just start doing that, and then that'll solve this whole problem, I think. Right now, I'm running off Wi-Fi. I'm surprised that that happened, but, that's just part of being a streamer, I suppose. Okay, cool. Let's just pick up from where we left off. Before we had the connection issues, I was talking about Firelight's phase 2. So this tweet was from yesterday. So this is all pretty new stuff. We don't have a date yet on phase 2, so I'm just going to keep on monitoring this until we have, a bigger picture. Do I have dedicated internet like fiber? Something that doesn't share the network with their neighbors. Um, I gotta look into that. I've never really had internet troubles here where I'm living. But I guess I just have to look more into that. If there is a fiber option, if I'm gonna be streaming, I'm probably gonna have to do that. If there's a bull run, will you take profits? Probably not, because I do own stocks still, so it's not like I've, sold all of my stocks. If I'm selling anything, I'm selling my Vanguard 500 before I sell crypto, and then let's say I wanna go on a trip or something like that, that's where that would come from. Hopefully, um, hold on. Yeah, let me just, let me see. AL, your question, is there a downside Flare won't pan out, or can you potentially lose XRP? Okay. I guess the only downside to Flare not panning out is that, your money doesn't really go anywhere. But that's the same you could say with any investment. I don't think that I've never heard of anyone losing their XRP on the Flare network. I mean, granted, it is still brand new. I mean, it went live. Firelight went live in December, so I don't know if there's been enough time in the market for these kind of stories to come out. But I haven't heard anything yet, and to that matter, I haven't heard of anyone losing their flare since 2023 when this all launched for the flare drops and the flare staking. Um, if we look at Catalytica, shout out to Twerp for showing this to me. Um, some of the FTSO providers have a 100% hit rate. Not all of them, but I mean, if we just look at this, like these are people that are not losing any tokens at all. So I'm just personally not worried about it. But if you were worried, start small and maybe not put your whole bag in. But I've personally got every single Flare token that I have staked or at least delegated. Either option is fine with me. I'm testing both staking and delegating out, just to see if I like the epochs or if I like the staking more. What's cool about the epochs, and especially cool at this site, you can see exactly when you're going to get paid now. The next, what time zone is UTC? So that would be something like Europe or England. Well, in any case, right now it's 12 Eastern time. So UTC is 5 p.m. So 5 hours from now. So tomorrow at, oh geez, 7 p.m. UTC would be midnight. So if you're in the Eastern time zone, tomorrow at midnight, the next epoch will get shipped out. So it's kind of sweet. You can see like, all right, I know a little bit of money's coming in, and it's not a lot right now. But if Flare was at like $1, coming in every couple of days, depending on how big your bag is to claim, 1,000, 2,000 Flare. If you were to just convert those to stable coins, I mean, that's basically that's like full-time job money. But right now I'm not worried about that. Let's make sure the system works. That's my point of view, is like, all right, we're pioneers. We're kind of paving the roads as we walk, and you just keep the faith. I think the profits will come down the road. And I don't mind being the Wild West guy. You guys can use me as your experimental target dummy. Just I'll I'll do all the experimenting, and I'll come back to you guys with whether or not it worked. And then one way or another, since you're here, you guys are going to be closer to this than the general public. So whether you get in now or get in later, you're still going to be ahead of the general pop. Let's catch up. I think I might have missed a few things here. I'm going to jump back to Twitter. Hey, what's going on, Pat? Sorry, I had to restart the stream. For some reason, the video quality got unbearable. Once we restarted, it seemed to kind of set things back to normal, but then I think we lost a lot of people, unfortunately. That's just the way it goes. For all we know, someone could have just been letting the channel run just to help me out. They're not actually looking. Let's see. Reason Flare is so amazing as compared to other staking protocols is you maintain custody of your assets the entire time. Yeah, I think Flare's got the best DeFi platform in the whole space. I probably also won't stake my entire XRP bag. I'd probably maybe stake 10% of it at scale. And then if it really gets reliable, maybe up to 20%. I also want to get involved in lending. So I want to have coals in multiple different fires. So, if Kinetic ends up being a good play, then I can lend my XRP on that. And then I can also have it staked on Firelight. And it kind of diversifies your risk a little bit, because if Firelight, for whatever reason, doesn't pan out, but Kinetic does, then you just pivot to the thing that's working. I wanted to look through um, two tweets. Hugo Fillion, not related. He spells it different, but exciting times ahead for Flare holders in Q1 2026 and beyond, especially after the last Flare drop in January when inflation starts to decline. Yeah, we were talking about that a second ago. So with the last Flare drop coming in, I th- I don't have a crystal ball or anything, but I do wonder if those Flare drops are why the price has stayed down for the past 3 years. I could see this being something that really takes off after the airdrops are done. Now, I know someone made mention earlier that on the inverse of that, some people might sell their bags. There's always going to be some of that, right? Like no one's gonna hold on to everything 100%. But I think that just by reducing the inflation on Flare, that's gonna be a big catalyst for us to start really driving that price up. And, not only that, but when the Clarity Act passes, you get institutional adoption of Flare, and that's a wrap. Um, yeah, of course, AL. AL says, I don't mind if something doesn't pan out. I'm willing to take some risks. I just don't want my XRP to be wrapped up into somewhere to wake up and realize it's all gone. Yeah, right there with you. That's why I would say in the short term, maybe put 5% in, or even maybe just put 100 coins in just to see that it works and then kind of scale up from there. I'm going to jump into this article real quick. Um, Flare is systematically turning XRP into a programmable multi-chain financial asset. XRP FI is not a single product launch or short-term growth push. It is a deliberate multi-year build that follows the same progression every serious financial ecosystem has gone through: liquidity, mobility, capital, reuse, and institutional alignment. I don't know if I'm going to read the whole article, but this is good info here. So Pillar 1, as a global liquid usable asset, key components: external liquidity, native routing between XRPL and Flare, standard-based multi-chain FXRP implementation. I really like that Flare. Like I did another video on it where I said that, you know, if XRP is Luke Skywalker, then Flare is R2D2. I really like that Flare is just so helpful in the XRP space, because it's not like, you get these other coins that almost want to be like XRP's competitor, whereas Flare's coming at this like, hey, I want to help you. I want to make XRP better. And to me, that just means that, like, if I was ever going to be a maxi and only hold one thing, if I'm an XRP maxi, I also want to be holding Flare. So to me, when I buy Flare tokens, I don't feel like I'm pulling away from XRP like you might if you were buying HBAR or Chainlink. So to me, if you're buying XRP or if you're buying Flare, it's in a strange way kind of like the same thing. Like they're reaching towards the same goal. The goal is clear. XRP gains global market access to a permissionless and deep liquidity trading platform. The XRPL remains a settlement layer. XRP holders gain access to the multi-chain ecosystem, and FXRP enables programmability. Here we go. The evidence: market depth and throughput, cumulative DEX volume, cumulative. This matters because credit hedging and capital reuse cannot exist without the market. Let's see what some of this stuff is. So layer 0 messages to Flare and the stablecoin market cap. Well, that's cool. We can see around April of 25. Oh, that was when the Genius Act passed, right? Maybe you guys can keep me honest on that one. I think the Genius Act was back in April, but let's just ask Google. Oh, okay, it was in July. Okay. Oh, interesting. I would have thought that. So for whatever reason, the stable coins really accelerated in the beginning of May. I'm wondering why that was. Um, this is a cool article. I feel like I'd bore you guys to death if I just read the exact article out loud, but it's just more really good news coming out of the Flare network. If um if my stream has good enough quality, I was thinking we could check out this video my friend sent me. I don't know. I haven't watched it yet, so I don't know how it's going to go. Is that something you guys would be interested in? We just kind of watch this together. I haven't done a video reaction yet, so I don't. At the end of the day, I want to make sure you guys are enjoying the content. But this was something I was going to watch today, one way or another. I'm gonna hit the play button, and then let me know if since I had to restart this, let me know if the volume's working. Snuggle up. Sound? You guys getting audio? No sound. All right. I'm gonna have to start using OBS. This is they got this little radio button with sound off by default. Like, why would you do that? Now I have to come in here. Whatever. We can skip the intro.
Token of the Flare network, then you should be up to date of all of the things that are happening that are going to be absolutely game changing for our community. And in this video, we're going to walk through some of the things that I'm particularly excited about that we're going to see come to fruition.
Wait, what the hell just happened? You got to be kidding me, dude. Where'd the video go? You have got to be kidding me.
Future for various holders of XRP. So we're just going to listen to this very short video talking about smart wallets. And this is going to be a huge innovation for holders of XRP that want to participate in the Flare network.
And then really making the experience as easy as possible for retail with smart wallets. That is critical. So smart wallets allow a XRP user to only ever make transactions on the XRP ledger. They never need to come to Flare. So they can bridge their XRP to Flare and direct where that XRP goes on Flare without ever touching Flare. Just because we have data protocols that can read a memo field on the XRP ledger, so we can basically abstract away all of the complexity of using Flare, and that's coming hopefully in December. That combined with the wallets that work on the XRP ledger, to me, I think that's a huge unlock because getting people to come from XRP into the EVM ecosystem, which is what Flare is really, really tough.
So Hugo did mention December there. This is actually quite an older video, but it highlights the point of what smart wallets actually are. They're going to abstract the complexities for XRP users to have to learn all about EVM and the Flare network. They're not going to have to download MetaMask and install it into their browser with a new private key, or download Bifrost and start to get to grips with you.
Oh, that's cool. That's what I like to hear. Wait a minute. This thing didn't start at the beginning. Oh my gosh, you gotta be kidding me. I guess we're starting it at the middle.
Using UGAS tokens and FLR. What they're going to be able to do through smart accounts is stay on the XRP ledger as a user, but utilize these smart accounts or these smart wallets to interact with the Flare network without even knowing that they are doing so. And this is absolutely huge. This is something we call chain abstraction. One particular app that is focusing on this is Vitzevin's Zarman wallet. And this is the most popular wallet on the XRP ledger. There's billions of XRP that is utilized through this application. And he's been saying that one-click style way to earn XRP yield directly through the Zarman wallet app, through Flare, through F Assets, through FXRP
cool.
in conjunction.
So if I'm hearing that correctly, you can, if I'm hearing what I think I'm hearing, you might be able to stake your XRP into Firelight without having to leave the wallet you're on. I don't use Xamen, so I don't know about their interface, but that'd be really nice for a lot of people. And I've been saying this on the channel a while, that I think this stuff's going to get easier over time. Not having to jump from site to site is going to make a lot more people willing to stake their a one-click staking is going to make things a lot easier.
With potential DeFi protocols, this is coming, and in fact the implementation has already started. You can see it here. Yes, implementation started. This is huge, and it's going to bring a lot of XRP onto the Flare network. In addition to that, we have recently announced Anados Finance, brought to you by Panos and his team, that are about to bring the fire with Flare Smart accounts, unlocking one-click yield opportunities for holders of XRP. Again, just another app that is going to be utilizing this technology to benefit their user base, which is predominantly XRP holders right now. Now, XRP holders are just skimming the surface, because we know that the Flare network is intended as a community of communities. It's going to aggregate all of crypto and allow people to utilize Flare without even knowing, and also stay on the Flare network and execute transactions on other networks through Flare without ever having to leave the Flare network itself. This is what's coming with something we call Flare 2.0. The main components of Flare 2.0 that are new are protocol managed wallets and also verifiable compute. And this is what leverages the already decentralized nature of the Flare network, all of the validators, all of the data protocols that support the Flare data connector and the Flare time series oracle. All of that is leveraged to basically execute transactions from Flare, utilizing the validators on external networks. So from the Flare network, you're going to be able to perform transactions and interact in a decentralized manner with other assets such as XRP, Ethereum, Dogecoin, Bitcoin, Solana, Base, and I'm sure many more too.
I think we touched on that earlier in the video, or possibly in the previous stream. But you can wrap your XRP, your Bitcoin, your Doge. Coins that don't have native staking are going to be the ones that really get used on this. Although I think it was said that Ethereum and Solana won't really need that, but I see their logos in here, so that's interesting. Maybe, and is that the Chainlink logo?
In my opinion, is probably the holy grail when it comes to cryptocurrency. The ability to abstract every other
chain. You guys know what this blue circle is on the right?
Because right now, it is a bit of a mess, right? If you're participating in Bitcoin, you need your Bitcoin wallet. If you're participating with Flare, you need your Flare wallet. And you have to connect to all of these different networks to interact with the various dApps. But with Flare 2.0, this huge innovation is going to be allowing you to participate and transact with other networks without ever having to leave the Flare network. That's going to bring a lot of attention and a lot of influx of new people to Flare, in my humble opinion. All of this attention is actually bringing a lot of developers onto the Flare network. Now, this is talking about a DeFi hub, and you can see the various decentralized applications that have launched on the Flare network. Now, this post was actually from December of 2024. And if we close this down here and scroll up, you can see just how much this has actually expanded. So many more applications that are built and being deployed
Firelight
on the Flare network because these developers can see the potential of what is to come. It's almost like seeing into the future. I'm hoping that that's why you are here. That's why you're subscribed. That's why you're staying up to date with everything that's happening on the Flare network, because it really does have so much potential. If you ask me, you are in the right place at the right time, and the future is extremely bright. We've got this from Hugo here saying that he doesn't think that many people have grokked that utility is massively
We just looked at this very tweet on this live stream. That's funny.
Escalating while inflation is about to collapse. Now, we know that inflation is capped at 5% per year, and it actually trends towards zero over the years to come. But one of the biggest increases to the circulating supply over the past 3 years have been the multiple flare drops every single month for the past 3 years.
Is your healthy eating routine getting boring? Factor has got more than 100 weekly.
You guys just found out I don't have YouTube Premium.
Now, if you have been collecting and compounding these over the past 3 years, then congratulations.
No, I probably have to
scroll down here just to the schedule. You can see that they started in 2023 through 2024 and 2025, and here we are in 2026.
Last
where
airdrop,
the last ever monthly flare drop will conclude on January the 30th. Now, this is absolutely crazy because you've
real quick, if you check this out, 24 billion flare has been awarded in these airdrops. So kind of thinking back on why the price hasn't moved much, you know, you've had 24 billion injected into the market over the span of 3 years. And I'm trying to think of how that maths out with, you know, flare being at around a penny. That's got to be worth a couple $100 million. I don't have the calculator out right now, but you know, if you just think about, you know, you're injecting multiple hundreds of $1 million in free money, is probably why the price has stayed low. If these flare drops come to an end, probably going to see that price start moving very greatly to the upside. So very excited about flare.
Got two sides of the camp where people are saying that one side of the spectrum are saying that there are no more monthly flare drops, so people might sell their FLR. And on the other side, you've got people saying that people may buy FLR because there's no more monthly flare drops and thus less sell pressure. Now, I don't know which camp you are in, but from my perspective, I've collected all 36 of these flare drops and have been compounding FLR, especially utilizing some of the DeFi opportunities with absolutely crazy APYs, and my FLR bags have grown at an incredible rate. Whatever happens from...
So real quick, I have a friend, I won't air him out, but he's been in flare since 2023. And he's told me that just from flare drops alone, he's either doubled or tripled his position in flare, not from necessarily a money standpoint, but how many tokens he has. So I got into flare somewhere around here. I don't know if you can see my mouse. I've claimed maybe 10 flare drops. He's had them from, he was part of the first one. So that's just really cool stuff.
From here on forth, I'm excited, and I think if you have a large amount of FLR, you are in a good position because, like I said, the Flare network has absolutely huge potential, and I think the best is honestly yet to come. Now, we've got Fluff here from X, and he put out his concerns regarding the Flare token itself and its lack of utility within the Flare network ecosystem. Of course, we know that it is going to be used, or it currently is used with the F asset collateral, but that may change in F Assets 2.0. He articulated his point very well in this post, And if you do want to see it, I will share it in the link, or share a link in the description below. I think it was actually inspired by Dr. Shweti, who put out an equally good proposal talking about how they want to see more utilization with FLR within the ecosystem, something that will drive price forward. Now, Hugo did actually have a response to this, and he said that he's seen some of the discussions about FLR's role in the ecosystem. This will be the subject of a number of governance votes in Q1 of this year, 2026. I'm pretty sure he is referring to Floff's post that I just showed you. Again, I will leave that in the description for those interested in reading it. Ultimately, I think Hugo has also the desire to bring FLR more utility within the ecosystem. And this is going to do wonders for demand. And of course, we're seeing the decline in inflation as well. And this is just the perfect storm. I'm very bullish on the Flare Network token, as I'm sure you could guess, having a YouTube account and been accumulating over the past 3 years. And yeah, I want to give you a reason now why I think it.
I think it could be a mixture of both. So yes, I mean, obviously there's going to be at least some sell off. There's going to be somebody out there that sells their flare at the end of the flare drops. But I think that there's also probably the inverse of that is without the inflationary aspect of the flare drop, there's probably going to be more people jumping into flare because just like anything else, you see charts. People want to buy stuff that's going up, and there's going to be a lot of people buying flare that actually have no idea what they're buying. And that's just kind of how it goes, especially with crypto. A lot of times you buy something before you really understand it. So I'm expecting to see an influx of new buyers at the end of the flare drops for sure. But yeah, we'll see some sell off. I don't think that I don't think that that's unreasonable. But in general, it's a perfect storm. All this utility is coming together all at the same time that the flare drops end. So it's almost like Flare has their own domino theory, separate from XRP's domino theory. And there's no reason not to be no reason not to be in both of them, because if they both play out, then man, I'm so excited for this stuff. You guys have no idea. I think you do, but the average person has no idea what's coming. Oh yeah, there's already been burn. I had a tweet saved. We can look at the tweet after.
They've been burning XRP or not. With they've potential. Been burning Flare. So there are a lot of people that are holding XRP that are still sleeping on Flare. If we go back to the F asset dashboard, we can see that less than 1% of XRP is used on the Flare network. And for me, this means that it's still an underappreciated gem. And what does that mean? It means that there is still so much potential for this network. Now, that is just talking.
Do you mean FTX, the exchange?
About XRP, and I want to expand that idea to other communities who will gain access to Flare yield-bearing opportunities later this year through the form of F Assets 2.0. We've got assets like Bitcoin, we've got assets like Dogecoin, XLM, Litecoin, all of these high market cap assets that lack the ability to earn yield are a potential integration with the Flare network. Untapped communities looking to earn with, insert your favorite coin here, have an extremely bright future ahead. With each F asset that is added, the community multiplies and the network effect increases, which creates a positive feedback loop for expanding total value locked and activity on Flare. You guys are still extremely early. 2026 will be wild. Now that is the end of the video. If you have any friends that may be in,
I'm definitely excited. Check out Flare Community's channel if you liked that. Going to be kind of walking the same paths here, so obviously check my stuff out, but no reason you can't check his out as well. I think I've been saying it since I got started with this channel again, that I expect Flare to be somewhere in the top 5 to top 10 on CoinMarketCap.com. Currently at 67, so it's just like, you go from, the bottom to the top. That means those who are holding right now probably going to have bigger gains than the traditional, standard crypto market. So I think the whole crypto market's going to do very well in 2026, and then Flare doing better than average on the market is just going to mean Flare does better than. I mean, it's just going to be more victory. I still think XRP is number one, so I don't want to say that Flare is going to do better than XRP, but I think they're going to be in tandem together. So there's two different coins that you can hold on to that are both going to do extraordinarily well this year, I think. Very interesting to see how things play out. I still think that Jake Claver's domino theory is in play. Got a lot of different coals in the fire. There's different ways to get to success here. But I'm excited for both of it, XRP and Flare. And I'm also excited for other coins too. I don't want to just say these are the only two coins I think are going to do well. I just think they're going to do the best. And that's why I'm personally buying them right now. Maybe this is all above my knowledge of crypto, but instead of staking my XRP on Flare, should I just dollar cost average Flare itself? So I've said in other videos, I'll say it again here. If you had $100, and not financial advice, entertainment only, if you had $100, I think a good thing to do is to either put $90 into XRP and $10 into Flare, or $80 into XRP, $10 into Flare, and then $10 into HBAR. Up to you how you want to kind of divvy that up. But I think if you're going to be dollar cost averaging into XRP, you should at least have some position of Flare that's also being dollar costed into. I wouldn't necessarily buy Flare over XRP. So like if you only could buy one coin, I'd probably still buy the XRP. But having a little bit going into Flare is good. If for no other reason, you need Flare tokens as collateral, not collateral. You need Flare tokens to pay the gas fees when you mint FXRP. So no matter what, you'd have to have at least a small amount. It's a pretty inconsequential amount right now. But I'd say, having both is probably a really good idea. Don't do anything that you guys aren't comfortable with. If nothing else, just keep coming back, watching my content. I'm showing you guys my own results, and then you can kind of decide for yourself. If you like what you see, then you can hop in. But I don't want to pressure you guys. If you don't feel comfortable staking yet, let that be a problem for Flare and Ripple to solve. I'm just here to basically report the news. I'm very bullish on it. I believe in it, but take everything with a grain of salt. I am, at the end of the day, just a YouTuber. Before I head out, we're getting pretty close to the hour. If you like what you've seen here, me and Dean have been really close. Dean, I'm glad you found this channel. I feel like we're working on some really cool stuff. I have to get all this mounted on my wall. I'll probably do it over the weekend so that I can kind of just focus during the work week on making content. If you guys haven't seen it yet, Dean made me this barrel lid, and I got to think of where to put it so it doesn't hit my microphone. Really cool stuff. We're going to be working on some things. Right now, I'm basically just nose to the grindstone, trying to get content out and grow my user base. But once we hit some more numbers, get this channel a little bit more popular, we're going to work on some ways of getting some cool merch for you guys. When I was thinking about how to monetize this channel, I don't ever want to hide anything behind a paywall or like selling PDFs and pretending there's information in there you can't get anywhere else. So I think a merch line is a really good way to get a little extra income out of this and not feel like I'm selling you guys like junk that you could otherwise be getting for free. I don't think information should be sold. So that's kind of my commitment to you guys. And we'll keep working on that, plugging away at it. Some of you guys probably know, but I'm giving YouTube 6 months full time. I was working as a contractor up until Thanksgiving, and my contract came to an end. And I realized if there was ever going to be a time, this was it. So one way or another, I'm locked in until June. If I turn profitable by then, we'll take this like very full time. If we get to June and I'm not profitable, I'll probably still make content, but I don't know if I'd be streaming daily like I am right now. So we're just going to hammer this out, see how far we can take it. And got a lot of different coals in the fire, trying to think of ways we can expand this. I really appreciate the guys that stuck through after we had to restart the stream. I know that you guys could be spending your afternoon doing something else. So really appreciate that. Signed hockey sticks would be sick. When I'm at the gym, I'm doing cardio, I think of so many different things to do. It's almost like I go to the gym to come up with ideas. And I'm thinking like, oh, we could do this or we could do that. So excited to see what we roll out. I'm going to start wrapping this. I am thinking, let me see what you guys think. I'm thinking about making a membership area. There's not a whole lot that I can give you guys that you're not already getting from this channel, but if I do a membership area, maybe it's, I don't know, $5 a month or whatever, and I'll throw up a slide at the end of each video. You know, here's the memberships. Thank you guys for joining. Just trying to think of ways to turn this profitable. It's not like I need a whole lot of money, but something just to keep the mortgage and the truck payment coming. I'm gonna float ideas with that, and then we'll see what we come up with. But at the end of the day, I want to make sure that you guys are getting info without you having to, go to a paywall or feel like you're getting gypped. That's a big deal for me. So we'll figure it out over time. Appreciate you guys. I'm gonna run to the grocery store, get some food, and then I'll probably work on another. I don't like General Motors, man. But I probably shouldn't even be saying that on stream, but they did a lot of people that I'm friends with dirty. I used to work at GM, but I probably shouldn't be saying this on a public thing. But one guy got let go like right before his newborn baby, and he didn't even get severance. So it's almost like they're like comically evil. Whatever. Maybe I'll become a Ford guy. But I'll see you guys tomorrow. We'll see if we can get a full 2 hours without any stuttering. I'll wire in tomorrow and then look into seeing if maybe I got to switch internet providers. But we'll work on that. Hopefully have another video for you guys tomorrow. Thinking, if I'm streaming from 11 to 1, I was posting videos at 11 a.m. And maybe I'll have to think of a different time, either before the stream or after. We'll kind of play around with it. We'll figure this thing out. And with that, you guys, I got to go get some lunch. I haven't had any food yet today, so I'm a little hungry. But yeah, thanks for hopping in, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care.